Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the other show where wrestling and cosplay collide. This is the Too Sweet Cosplay, Too Sweet Converse predictions for NXT Takeover 31. What's going on, everybody? I am EJV. I'm joined by, yep. And I'm joined by, of course, us three here. We're doing these predictions today because it's NXT Takeover weekend, guys, and it's going to be on Sunday, October 4th, of course, on the WWE Network. Unfortunately, due to some scheduling conflicts, our buddy Nico will not be here with us, but he will be posting a separate video, which will be in the description of this one as well, and also posted later on as well. To lead us into the predictions, STVO, go right ahead, my man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So, opening things up, we're going to go with the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. It's going to be champion Santos Escobar of Legado del Fantasma taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott. So, this should be an interesting bout. We'll see what happens. It will be a nice back and forth. So, who'd like to make their predictions first? Wildcard, how about you?
Sure. I can't really talk about this match a little bit too much, just because I haven't really been following NXT overall, but I've still been watching the highlights of majority of the feuds there too. Should be a really good match. You know, we got some good talent there going in for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. This Isaiah Scott, he's just someone who intrigues me as somebody who's, I feel like, is not that well known within the WWE universe, but I think this will be a way to build up his stock because, I've seen him in the ring and he's pretty good, and I don't see why not him becoming a Cruiserweight champion, but I don't see the signs pointing to him. I see Santos Escobar retaining the Cruiserweight championship there. E, what do you got, man?
This is actually going to be, I think, a really great match. Santos Escobar, who formerly he'll do Phantasma. We know how great he is. If you watch, I've watched some of his matches at CMLL, AAA. He's a great competitor, great guy, great champion. Isaiah Swerve Scott, I've watched for years as Shane Strickland on the Indies. He's one of the best pure athletes out there. He also wrestles in a small little thing. He also wrestles in death matches too. He wrestled in a death match against AR Fox in Lucha Underground, which is one of the most violent, bloody matches I've ever seen in my life. And this guy can wrestle all styles. He can do everything. I see actually Isaiah Swerve Scott actually finally getting his time to shine. I feel like he's going to walk out of here as the new NXT Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, that'd be interesting if we get Isaiah as champion. You know, he's actually been pretty impressive. Admittedly, I haven't been watching too much of the weekly NXT television as of late. I have, been watching clips here and there. The last full episode I watched was NXT Super Tuesday Part 2. It's hard to keep up with so much wrestling on TV, but I do love all of NXT, and I do like the Legado del Fantasma stable a lot. So I'm going back and forth on it. I think Isaiah is a great superstar to possibly be the next big cruiserweight star of the division. However, I think that Phantasma is going to continue to be a strong faction within the black and gold brand of the WWE. So for now, I'm just going to say that Santos Escobar does retain the Cruiserweight Championship for now. So moving on, we're going into singles action. It's Kushida taking on the Velveteen Dream. They've been having a bit of a back and forth feud on NXT Television Weekly, so it will be interesting to see what happens. EJV, who's your pick for this match?
I'm going to go with Kishida. To me, I think Velveteen Dream, he's been sliding a little backwards. We know what's going on with him personally outside of the ring that I'm not going to get into because that's all still, in a way, pending legal issues and all that. But Kishida, to me, just came back. He's looking like he's ready to rumble. He literally attacked the arm of Velveteen Dream this past week on NXT and literally ripped it off his own body. We know Kushida's got that hoverboard lock, which is one of the best finishers out there. as far as submissions go. I'm gonna go with Kushida to win this because I think they're building him further now that he's back from whatever injury or whatever layoff he was on. So yeah, I'm going with Kushida for the victory. A wild card, what you got, brother?
All right. Another barn burner match. Can't deny that this could potentially be one of the top matches of the evening there. Kishida, great talent. Velveteen Dream, great talent. We all know that. But, it'd be nice to see Kishida take the ball and run with it because I don't think we've really seen much of him since Kishida has arrived in NXT. I think one of the main highlights that I've seen out of him was teaming up with one of my personal favorites, Alex Shelley, when they reformed the Time Splitters in that the Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic. I mean, that is, I think that was the last time I really heard from Kishida. So why not? I'm going to pick him as the winner. No offense to Velveteen Dream here, but I think it's time to get some new blood into the mix there, and I'd say a Time Splitter wouldn't be a bad idea to take that. All right, STVO, I believe you're next there.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kishida to win this one. He hasn't been featured too much. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember him having like a big time takeover match per se. I know he's on weekly television here and there, but
I don't recall that either.
Yeah. And then we know Velveteen Dream's still dealing with some issues and stuff, but I mean, at least for his sake, he's on TV and all that. This should be a good back and forth match. I don't see why this can't be a great match, but just because they're kind of giving Kushida a bit of a push, I'm going to go with him to win and kind of get a little more elevated in the card. Perhaps we'll see him go for the North American Championship sooner rather than later. So that is my pick. Next matchup is the NXT Women's Championship. Champion Io Shirai will be defending her title against Candice LeRae. Should be an interesting bout. Wild card, who's your pick for this very match?
All right. This is going to hurt a lot of Io Shirai fans, but I would like to see Candice LeRae take a crack at the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, we all know who Candice LeRae is. Any wrestling fan, hardcore wrestling fan, knows how good and talented Candice LeRae is. And, for the longest time, for me personally, all I've seen out of her was being Johnny Gargano's wife on screen. Of course, they are married, so of course they would have to be on screen for that. But I'd like to see more of Candice LeRae, the wrestler, the one that took all those sick bumps in the indies there too, the one that took some nasty super kicks from the Young Bucks from her matches with them. That's the Candice LeRae that I want to see come out of Takeover with the Women's Championship. No offense to Io Shirai. She's a great champion. She's held that title with honor, but I would love to see Candice LeRae walk out of Takeover with the NXT Women's Championship. E, what do you think, man?
Definitely, I'm going with your pick as well. Definitely picking Candice LeRae. The reason being two reasons. Number one, I feel like this is the time for her to shine, and I feel like with the way they've been building her heel turn with the whole Gargano family wanting to all be champions, I feel like this will be step one in that prophecy being fulfilled. Also, I just feel like that it's been her time to shine. It's time for her to show who she is as a wrestler. We know how good she is. We know how much of a great competitor she can fight men, women, whoever, in any time, and we know how great she is. So it's time for her to show how great she is, and maybe this is the match she could do it in. And Io's a great opponent for her because it's a clash of styles with this Japanese strong style versus the American indie style. So it's going to be a great clash of styles in that sense. I'm definitely going though with the cupcake herself, Candice LeRae, to walk out with the NXT Women's Championship. All right,
Yeah.
Steve-O, you're up.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, I don't see like too many title changes happening on this card, but because it's a takeover, I think they want to have at least one memorable title change or something like that. So I think we may see a new champion with Candice LeRae. I mean, they need something special for this card, and I think this match will deliver. They had that weird Candice LeRae or the Garganos, that skit. I believe it was Tegan Knox made a visit over to their house, and they had that little weird war in the house, the food fight and all that. So I mean, I don't know. I think they're trying to build up Candice LeRae in some way possible to be a top candidate in the NXT Women's division. So. I'm just going to go with Candice LeRae on this one, just to switch things up and have it be a little bit different. But we'll see. I'm not 100% sure on that. The next match we're going to be going into is the NXT North American Championship match, and it's actually a ladder match, so that should be great. We got champion Damian Priest taking on Johnny Gargano. EJV, I'm going to pass it back to you. Who's your pick for this bout?
Now, this is one of the top two matches that I'm excited for. Everybody knows how much of a fan I have been of Damian Priest since his time in Ring of Honor, and I've always been high on him and said, hey, this guy could be a future because of his look, his size, his athletic ability, and he's proven that time and time again. He reminds me of like almost a modern-day Razor Ramon, just because of the coolness, the suave he's got with him, and just the way he carries himself is just incredible. And his athletic ability is off the charts. As far as this match goes, the only like little nitpick I have is just it's a ladder match, and we just had a freaking 6-way, 7-way ladder match at Takeover 30 for Pete's sakes. But outside of that, I'm going with Damian Priest to retain. I feel like it's just too soon for him to lose the belt at this point. I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on Johnny just yet. I think Johnny's going to look strong though, and I think they're going to keep him looking strong. So I'm definitely going with the Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest, to retain the NXT North American title. Wildcard, you're up, buddy.
All right. Another potential barn burner of a match. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over with this, but I mean, there is that could be potentially one of the top matches there that could outshine the main event, which we will be talking about in just a minute here. But I mean, I gotta be honest. I wasn't terribly familiar with Damian Priest, even on his even in his run in Ring of Honor as the artist formerly known as Punishment Martinez. So I saw his look. And I mean, I even walked past him a couple of times. I believe he was at the first Starrcast. If you guys recall there, I think he was there during his time in Ring of Honor, I believe. But I remember, yeah. I was gonna say I remember he had a stint in Ring of Honor at the time, and then he eventually would get transitioned over to NXT as Damian Priest, and seeing him in the matches prior to his winning the North American title, I didn't realize how good this guy was. I mean, for a big guy, he's kind of like the Luchasaurus of NXT. That's kind of how I see him as, because for somebody that big or somebody that tall for the most part, but he can move. He's pretty agile, especially he has a lot to his arsenal that is almost very cruiserweight like. And that's why he's champion right now, and that's why the company's or at least NXT is high on him. And of course, going against Johnny Gargano, you can't go wrong with that. In a ladder match of all matches, I'm pretty excited for that. But I think he's going to continue his run as a North American champion for a little while. I don't see any reason why Johnny would win the title at this point, unless it's just to extend some kind of storyline. But I think for the purpose of this predictions, I'm just going to go with Damian Priest to retain the North American Championship. Steve-O, on to you, my man.
Thank you, sir. So, yeah, I mean, the Gargano prophecy, I do almost think that maybe Gargano could win this, but I just feel it would be too soon for Damian Priest to drop this title. And kind of like you said, EJV, just they're already doing another ladder match. That's kind of crazy. They're doing it so soon, but I mean, hey, I can't complain about more ladder matches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think this should be a great match. I am liking Damian Priest. He's delivering as the North American champion. I think that he's got a good look to him, and he's carrying himself very well. Johnny Gargano, he's held every title in the promotion, well, besides the Cruiserweight Championship, but that's neither here nor there. But he could become a two-time North American champion, but I don't think it'll be at this pay-per-view. I don't think he's going to win it at TakeOver 31, so I'm just going to go with the safe bet of Damian Priest retaining that championship title. And we'll see where they go from that program. So, last but not least, we're finally on to the main event. NXT champion Finn Balor will be taking on Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era. They're switching things up. It's not Adam Cole getting a title shot, but Undisputed Era member Kyle O'Reilly gets the shot after winning that gauntlet match a week or so ago on NXT on USA Network. So, wild card. Let's hear your thoughts on this match. Who will win the main event? Could O'Reilly possibly be the second member of the Undisputed Era to hold the NXT championship, or will it just be Finn Balor continuing his reign? Let's hear your thoughts.
Just hearing it, Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship. Savor it. Savor everything that you just heard with that. I'm savoring everything about it. You know why? We all know that both of these guys can go. If you are a wrestling fan, you know who Kyle O'Reilly is. This is not Kyle O'Reilly, the tag team wrestler. We all know what he can do as a tag team competitor. We all know what he can do as just a wrestler in general, just with his talent. But as a singles wrestler, I don't think the WWE universe really realizes how good Kyle O'Reilly really is. You look back at his matches in Ring of Honor, in New Japan, the Indies, really, man can go. He can go. I mean, he's got a good striking background. He's got a good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. I mean, not only can wrestle, he can fight. This guy can fight too. So, I mean, he's probably, in my opinion, one of the more underrated guys, members of the Undisputed Era. And Undisputed Era is stacked full of talent right there. I don't need to talk about them too much, but since we're on the subject of Kyle O'Reilly, he could walk out of TakeOver the new NXT champion. I could see that. But I'll be honest, I don't think that is going to happen because of the fact that they just gave the title to Finn Balor. And, on the previous podcast, we were raving about how amazing it would be having Finn Balor be NXT champion, what was going to be. And we got that. And, for him to lose it this quickly, that'd be kind of disappointing there, too. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be pretty disappointed. But I'd also be pretty happy in the process if to see Kyle O'Reilly win the NXT title. That would be a real shock to the system right there. Because I've been hearing some rumors in the Twitter sphere or the internets that there've been their plans on maybe potentially splitting up Undisputed Era. I feel like that's another topic for another day. We were just talking about that earlier. If Kyle O'Reilly were to win the NXT title, but I honestly, as much as I would love to see him win the title, I think Finn Balor is going to walk out and retain it. But it's going to be one hell of a match. I can't wait for it. I've been savoring this ever since I heard it was going to happen, and I'm going to be glued to my whatever it is I'm going to be watching, my phone, the TV, at this match, because I guarantee you right now, you people will never be disappointed. This is going to be a 5-star, 6-star match. E, what do you think?
Well, first off, I'm going to say it would be 7 stars if it was in the Tokyo Dome, but I digress. But 5 words. Match of the year candidate. without even one hold already. We're 2 days away, 3 days away. Let's imagine you're Candy without even a single hold, not even a bell ringing yet. It's just on paper. That's because of how good these guys are in the ring. Like you said, Kyle O'Reilly, one of the best singles wrestlers out there, and a lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people don't. And one of the match that made him also made Adam Cole, and that was the hybrid fighting rules match from Ring of Honor, best in the world. Those two striking it out, Adam Cole with a busted lip, bleeding everywhere. One of the best. It made both of them guys. It made them both higher stars in the independent scene. If that's partially kind of what drew him to WWE, is that style. We know how good he is. He's a striker. He's a guy who can work a choreographed match in a ring and go out in the parking lot and whoop your ass if you piss him off. We know that. This is going to be an excellent match. I have a feeling this is going to be match of the year up there with Omega and Hangman versus the Bucks at Revolution. I have a feeling this is going to be just an absolute classic between two of the best. Two contrasting styles, once again. But it's too soon, I think, for Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, he's going to come close, but Finn's going to retain because it's just too early in Finn's reign. I don't see him dropping the belt so soon. They would basically just be putting Finn Balor down again. It would just be back to square one again for Finn, and we don't want to see that for Finn. He's already been through that enough. So, in my opinion, it could go either way, and I'd be happy with either result. But my heart says Kyle O'Reilly, but my mind says the Prince retains his NXT World Championship.
All right, so I'll get my thoughts to wrap up our match predictions. I don't have as strong of a following as the other two gentlemen here. I seldom watch Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I'm not going to pretend that I do know about Kyle's accomplishments. However, the work I have seen him put in on NXT has been great. I think he is a viable talent. I think it is nice that they are actually going to do a storyline where somebody else in the Undisputed Era gets a NXT world title shot, if you will. I think that's nice to switch things up. It does feel kind of like a filler feud. I'm going to get a little more into it when we make our excitement levels for this pay-per-view. But because of Finn winning so soon, I just don't see it. I just can't see Kyle O'Reilly being the next champion or Finn Balor dropping the NXT title so soon. I think this is going to be a hell of a match. I think Kyle is going to show off his skills, just like show that, hey, he's not just a tag team wrestler. He's not just another member in the Undisputed Era, but he has some charm in him. Finn Balor, brings his A game. I don't have any doubts that this match will deliver. However, I know some people were talking about it over on Twitter and some other Facebook groups I'm in. But yeah, it would be kind of interesting if they did kind of do the Evolution storyline where, if you remember way back, Randy Orton won his first world championship against Chris Benoit at SummerSlam, and then the rest of the faction betrays him. I think that'd be kind of a fun little storyline if they did something like that with Undisputed Era or something somewhat around those lines. Heck, maybe Kyle wins it, and he, Fish, and Strawn kick Adam Cole out of the group. He said something like that. Something new would be pretty fun. They kind of got to switch the Undisputed Era dynamic a little bit. I thought the Pat McAfee feud, while it was a decent match, it was kind of just a little below their level, in my personal opinion. But I mean, yeah, we'll see what's next in the Undisputed Era chapter. But for right now, I see Finn Balor being your retaining the championship and still being your NXT champion. So that's pretty much my thoughts there on that match. So guys, excitement level 1 to 10. 1, of course, being least excited, 10 being overly excited for this show. What would you rate it? A wild card. How about we start with you? 1 to 10. What's your thoughts on NXT Takeover 31?
9.5 out of 10. I'm really excited for this pay-per-view. The match card is very solid, and to top it all off, but again, Balor, O'Reilly, That's the cream of the crop right there. I'd say 9.5. I'd say honestly, I'm just being very particular about this. I could say 10 out of 10, but I'm just very a little anal about this. So 9.5 out of 10. E, what do you think?
I gotta give this a 9. This card has to be excited beyond belief because so many great matches that could steal the show. You know, from the main event, which is my personal favorite out of this, to the Damian Priest Johnny Gargano ladder match, which we know how ladder matches steal shows usually at every pay-per-view event imaginable, to even the women's match with two of the best women's wrestlers on the freaking planet. Dude, we could be surprised even by Swerve Scott and Santos Escobar. Because, the cruiserweights, they're out to make as big of a mark as the heavyweights are, in a sense. So, either way, I'm really excited for this. I'm going to give this a 9. I give it a 9.5, but I think that would be just a little bit, in my opinion, reaching. But, otherwise, I give it a 9. Steve-O, what's your rating on this, man?
All right. Yeah, I'm surprised you guys rate it so high, to be totally honest. I mean, I think it's going to be a great show. Very rarely, or at the very least, a good show. Very rarely does NXT fail to deliver on a pay-per-view quality match, or should I say a takeover match. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I think this pay-per-view kind of came a little out of all of a sudden. I almost thought, there are some very good matches lined up. I wouldn't, comparing it to like NXT Takeover 30 or NXT In Your House, I thought those cards were a little more exciting than this particular card. This one screams as more of a filler show or a special edition on USA Network edition of NXT personally. I mean, there are definitely some candidates of matches that may surprise us, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as exciting as some of the other NXT takeovers, but I think it'll still be a good enough show where it's definitely worth a Sunday watch. And little side tangent, it's October. They've been, bringing back at the Great American Bash. They brought back In Your House. Why not just call this NXT Takeover Halloween Havoc? They own the name. They should have done that. Missed opportunity, guys.
Yeah. Next time, though, I'm sure somebody will get the word out there, and they may do that.
Yeah, we'll see. They could still very well do a USA edition of NXT and call it Halloween Havoc for a ratings boost, but we'll see about that. So I think that's pretty much it for this edition of the predictions here at Too Sweet Cosplay, Too Sweet Converse. What are your guys' excitement level? Which match are you most looking forward to, fans of this coming Sunday's pay-per-view show? We want to hear your thoughts as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Too Sweet Cosplay YouTube channel. And also follow us at Too Sweet Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter. So from all of us here at Too Sweet Cosplay, have a great one and too sweet, y'all.